talking about kidnapping in Nigeria, and we just want to make it short and sweet, just to test this system to make sure that it's working effectively in preparation for our grand finale discussion on Saturday, 3 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Nigeria time. I have with me two distinguished, seasoned, one politician, one non-politician, one old generation, one Sorosoke generation. As they call it, I have with me Mr. Babajide. With me, I have Professor Ali Alao. Mr. Babajide, please speak to the audience and let them know that they are listening to the Sorosoke generation.
My name is Babajide. As the host has said, I think we are of the new generation, and we are here to ask questions, and those questions needs to be answered either by crook or by fire. We are ready for them. Thank you.
Good. I know that it's very cold. I know that it's very cold in the UK at the moment. Will you be going out to protest? Since they said there should be no protest in Lekki, are you going to be protesting here in London? To support the ongoing issue.
Basically, Dave said the Lagos State government already issued a statement via the CP, that's the police commissioner of the state, that there should be no protest. And I think the mistake the state government have made is that it's one of the fundamental human rights. You have right to protest under the Constitution of Nigeria. So I think they got it all wrong. They are meant to even provide security for protesters. So if they to go down this route, it might be another Lekki Gate saga. But we just hope that it won't extend to that level, because now, as of the evening or yesterday morning, we could see on social media that we're gathering with in their numbers, in their vans, police cars and police vans. They were all there mounting, at different, section of the bridge, different section of the toll gate itself. And a lot of people were now asking questions that why is it now that you guys are here? And there's also, let me remind the viewers that there's also a counter protest. So the state want to use that as an opportunity to say that, because they're about that there's going to be, they hear the rumor, or they hear, the normal, what they always use, facts. We have facts that yes, there will be an unrest on that day, so that's why their presence are there. So let's just we can't just assume that it's going to go right or left. Tomorrow is just a few hours away. What happens? Thank you.
Okay. Why before I bring in Prof, let me do a big shout out to my very two special people that are live watching me. Let me first and foremost congratulate my friend and brother Muhammad Rafiq MBE. We're both friends and brothers, and we traveled to California together for a conference. We've been to Nigeria together. He's actually been to Nigeria. Great man, chair of the network in the Home Office. Congratulations on your OBE. You really deserve it. Let me also thank, my sister that is watching me live, also, a lawyer. So I want to thank him. And Susan, oh yes, I remember that. Thank you so much for joining. And now let me go to Prof. Prof, you've heard what Mr. Jide has actually said with regard to the situation in Nigeria. I know we wanted to talk about kidnapping, but part of the challenge we have, part of the challenge we have with the NSAS protest is the discussion about police brutality, which more or less is why they are going back, back out, and they're saying they want to go back out. But yet the government said, please don't go back out. We don't want any conflict. We don't want any situation, that will result to rioting, that will lead to loss of life, or that will lead to destruction. So what do you have to say about it in 1 minute? And then we'll just go back to kidnapping, talk about that for 5 minutes, and then we close this one because we're doing a test of the system. Prof, up to you.
Good evening, my comrade Temitope Olodo. And again, I need to say good evening to my co-panelist, Babajide, the one and only. And then, yes, and good evening also to our viewers, both home and away. This time around, we are doing this very unique program in English. And congratulations to us for being on this very new platform, whereby I believe we're going to reach places and this is going to make a huge impact. Now, coming to the question of today or this evening, which is protest now or protest sometimes to come. I would love to say in the advent of the very coronavirus, COVID-19, as a stag pandemic, I believe it's very, very unwise of anyone under the pretext of anything to say, well, I want to go to where they're going to have a social gathering. People are dying. It's no, I mean, please allow me to speak my mother's language. I don't believe in mother's tongue, which is Yoruba. They say, Ojulala kan fi n sorry. The means, I mean, a light verse is enough for the wise ones. I mean, what are we trying to get at? Protest, get it together. Even if the permission is given, it will be very, very unwise and very selfish in the area of the whoever might be the organizer or the people pushing for protest. Whether we like it or not, our country is bleeding as we speak. As we speak. So to really ignite that box of gunpowder is to go out there and also just go and light the box. So in a way, whichever way we look at it, is very, very unwise for anyone. Maybe, well, why can't we, just as you rightly said in the beginning of this very program, that, okay, well, why can't we use technology to do the protest? Maybe protest online. By so doing, we know we are not going to spread or pass on the coronavirus. That could have been I believe that could have been, and again, for this very generation, Bones okay or Soros okay, why didn't they use technology as the all technology savvy to protest online instead of going to whereby they know at the end of the day, they might end up going there as able-bodied and going there as someone sick, which we know what could be this 50-50 chance, not even sometimes might be 90 to 10% chance of surviving it. That's my own take. Thank you, moderator.
Okay, let me bring in the Sorosoke generation because I know he wants a right of reply. Then I bring in Mr. Fatai, who is joining us live for this testing period. So, Mr. Jide, what's your view about this? It's a coronavirus period, and around the world, people are being told not to maintain social distancing, wash your hands, use your mask. And people want to go out to protest at this season. Is it a wise decision to actually decide that this is the time and season there and protest? What's your view on that?
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to respond to Prof. when he said that why can't they use social media to protest? So I want to remind you that it was actually part of the tool that made the first protest to be worldwide, to be known worldwide. If it wasn't for the social media platform, it would be known and it won't be televised live, because these young generations, they are using every tool at their disposal. In as much as, yes, there's a coronavirus, there should be social distancing, But the question now is that, is the government, do they even believe in the so-called coronavirus, the pandemic itself? So we have to look at that, because the government should have used that as a way to disperse, or to actually talk to youth, or whoever is organizing, or whoever is planning to come to the protest, that, you know what, there's no, actually there's no lockdown anyway, but there's a pandemic, that please and please, just for your own safety, please, can you please stay home? There's this, and we are trying to curb this pandemic from spreading. But the government is not campaigning on that. The government is actually used, like I would say, a big kind of statement, saying that you don't have right to protest, you don't have even right to even converge as a people. So that is one of the, I think, is a problem, because if there's a pandemic, we all are indoor to stop the spread of the virus, but they're not. They're talking about counter protests. They are already organized, and the Sorosoki generation, the NSAS campaigners, have already identified the person behind the counter protest, which is all on, it's all on the on the social platform. So it's there already.
Let me bring Mr. Fatai in. Let me quickly bring Mr. Fatai in. Fatai, you are fully aware that the Sorosoke generation, the youth said they are going to protest, regardless of the warning from government that they should not protest. And we've already seen a 200-strong man police force out there, to more or less deter anybody going out to protest. So, Prof, let me ask you, what do you call it? Sunday Igboho account was recently frozen, and he has said that if his account is not unfrozen, there's going to be a youth uprising across Nigeria. What will be your recommendation to government on that? I know we're just testing this. We're going to have a full discussion, on Saturday about it. But what would be your opinion about the freezing of his account by government, which was done some few days ago, and is coming out to say there's going to be a murder of protest if his account is not unfrozen? What's your opinion on that, Prof?
Basically, I'm not at the right position or the right person to. I'm not a consultant or government advisor. So, but as a citizen, as a citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria, my own advice would be to my fellow citizens that guess what? I've never seen, or we've heard a lot about an individual challenging the state. To challenge the state, you must have what it takes. And you remember there's a saying that goes like this: if you cannot stand the heat, you have to leave the kitchen. Well, so that's just my take. That's just my take.
Let me go back to Mr. Jide, because I know you will have a very good view and opinion on this matter. What is your opinion? We knew that happened with the NSAS protesters. It's part of the reasons why they have this mistrust with government. That government speaks with both sides of the mouth. That's their view, just giving their view across. We know that some of them have even they decide to relocate to Canada as a result of what they call government's crackdown. And now we've seen that Sunday Igboho, who seems to be a nationalist standing for the Yoruba nation, and making some comment, now being picked on more or less literally by the frozen of his account. So what will be your view on that? And do you think it's something that ordinary Nigerians should be really worried about, that this government seems to be the first one to be using this methodology to try and silence any discussion or dissenting voice that they do not agree with?
From my own point of view, it's not the first time this this present government have been doing this. I think most of the laws of the land is not being adhered to, or it's not being how would I put it? There are two laws in Nigeria: one for the rich and famous, and one for the common man. So in these aspects, in freezing Igbo's account, I think everybody knew that that was coming anyway. That in no time, because it was under a lady here in the UK, one of the bloggers raised over 20-something thousand pounds a day on the basis that Igbo needed buses for the movement, and they were able to raise 20,000 just a day. So we personally knew that something was going to happen, whether now or later. They were going to. But the only question we have to ask ourselves is it right to do that without any court order? And even Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, said in an interview with Channels TV that even the CBN had no right to freeze the account of Nigerian citizen, and also advised through the court, also advised that it shouldn't happen again, because no investigation was carried out, and there was no basis for the NSAS protesters' accounts to be frozen in the first place. So freezing is I think this present government is just I would say somersaulting. Whatever they do, I think it goes left. Whatever they do, I think is just always there's always a bad feedback. It's always coming back to them immediately. But I think maybe in the next few days we might hear that the account was not even frozen in the first place, because they will say something today and there's another thing to do, another thing will definitely, which we are used to anyway. You can't have this administration for the past 5 years and not understand their style of governance. So to me, it's not a big deal. But they've always they've always disobeying the court order, not doing the right thing at the right time. So I think they are finding it. They're looking for every opportunity. Whoever goes against this administration, they are going to come hard on them. Anybody, they will go hard on them. So almost style in Africa is like autocracy. It's not. They're not practicing democracy. It's just we tend to use different style. So the one that works for us, that pays the particular administration, that's what they're going to use. If it doesn't pay them, they pay what to deal with. So that's my take. Whether they freeze, definitely the government, I can authoritatively tell you that Mr. Lai Mohammed might come, my issue a statement or vice press secretary to say that his account wasn't freeze, that they had they never heard about his account being freeze. That is like they should go and ask the bank or whatever, and the bank will say that, oh, I think it was a mistake. They were carrying out a routine check, and and that was it. So let's see what's in the new week, what comes out of it. That's my take.
Okay, let me quickly speak. Let me quickly speak to our brother, Mr. Fatai. Mr. Fatai, thank you for coming on board. What's your view about the freezing of the account of Sunday Igboho, and what do you think? Because he said there's going to be a demonstration if his account is not unlocked. So what will you say to that, Mr. Fatai? I can't hear you, sir. I might have to come back to you. Can't hear you. There's something to do with your sound. So I might have to come back to you. Let me go back to Mr. Jide. Mr. Jide,
Yes.
if you have any if you have any advice to the government about tomorrow, what will your advice be?
Like I think in a normal country, in a normal nation, I think they should allow the protest to go ahead, or try and manage the situation. I would say that because all eyes is on that country, and the international community are watching what's going to happen tomorrow closely, because they are also interested. They are all staying because they know what happened the last time, and it didn't give as a nation, it didn't give them projected nation very well. Registration, it was going to actually happened. But if they want to have an opinion poll after that day, I think it's going to be they will support this administration like maybe 2%, and that's a failure. So I don't want to. They want to make that same mistake of the last protest. So I would just manage, especially the state government. The state, I think, is going to be on his head with federal government, because the federal government will tell you that it's not. It has to do with the state government. So, and now the state government, the commissioner of police, is saying that we don't want to see anybody outside. Whatever you see is what you get, and that's like a threat. And I guess with this sort of secretary, so with these coconut head people, they won't want to. They won't. I don't think they will want to back down. So that's why I said that if they divide the route of and shut this thing down, do your protest after the pandemic, I think that will speak well, and people will take that on board. But if you are using a counter protest like they normally do, like Nigerians are used to, so everybody's ready. So that's
okay.
That's
okay. Let me quickly bring in Professor Ali Alao. Thank you so much for coming back, Prof. If you have any lasting comment, because we're going to go off in the next 1 minute. If you have any advice to the government about tomorrow, what will your advice be to the government tomorrow?
Well, as it's a comment on the government to guarantee the security and the safety of life and property of every citizens, and even to the guests, the foreigners living in the land. So I believe they have to do everything possible to make sure that the life and property is not at risk and is protected. That's my advice to the government for tomorrow and beyond tomorrow.
Okay. Excellent. So we've seen from the both conversation that you both have more or less made it very clear that government need to do something. So let me ask you before I let you go, and I'll ask you and then go to Mr. Babajide. We close. What's your view about kidnapping in Nigeria at the moment, and what would be your advice to the diaspora about kidnapping in Nigeria at the moment?
Kidnapping in Nigeria is something that really horrendous. It's not acceptable. I'm not going to play it down that it's not a serious issue, but we need to appreciate, due to social media. I mean, the digital age has really blown into the surface. It has reached the headline. I believe, without doubt, we can't bend over, we can't cross. We just need to call it what it is. It's the cancer of our time. which I believe something needs to be done and need to be done quickly. There's no time to be finger pointing. We just need to deal with it. From the north to the west, west to the east to the central, there is nowhere that is exempt of these very menace of kidnapping for ransom. Some even we heard after paying the ransom, they still pay with their life. So yes, but I would like to say something though. It's beyond any tribe or any race or any religion. Kidnapping is kidnapping. Is a cancer that is eating Nigeria inside out as we speak. Something needs to be done on the side of the government and its people, because I believe both government and the people is bearing the brunt of kidnapping. It's not only to the wealthy or to the commoners, it's everyone's problems, everyone's issue. I guess both government and the citizens need to get together and do something about kidnapping.
Okay.
Now you also asked about what can we do as a diaspora. I mean, here we are, we know when our people back home is not safe, there is no way we can really sleep or feel relaxed. For us to really have a sigh relief until we have the guarantee that people back home are safe and ourselves are safe when we are visiting the homeland. So I would like to say to us, we should do everything possible, beginning from us, from ASL. We should be the one knocking now. We shouldn't wait for them to call on us. We need to call on them and stretch our hands out in terms of our area of expertise in helping our government out of this quagmire of kidnapping, which is eating everyone, which is eating the nation inside out. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bajide, what would be your view and your comment on kidnapping in Nigeria? Just 1 minute, and then we'll round up for the day.
I just want to buttress what Prof said. He has said it all. I think what Nigerian government needs to do more is to try and whatever part in their power, and to try and curb these men. I think it's a serious menace to society. It's giving us a pain, and I think it has turned into a money-making venture, because I think there's a lot of money, according to analysts, according to journalists, according to people back home, because there's so much money in it has now turned into an industry whereby it's a big industry. People are making serious money, and from what we've gathered, it seems that there are some big people, we're talking about big people at the top, like they always use the language they always use in Nigeria. There's some powerful people behind them. So I think the government needs to do something really fast. And one of the mantra of this present administration is change, that they are going to curb, they are going to provide security. And I think it's one of the fundamental one of the duties of a president or a government is to protect life and property of his people. And if the government fails in providing that, that means there's no government, and that means the government has totally failed. But I would say the government. I think I know that Nigeria is going through a lot of hassles, a lot of faces in this current regime, or let's say current administration. I don't want to use regime because regime has to do with military, but because of the things that have been going on for the past 5 years, a lot of people have changed into administration, into regime. So if the government can, put a lot of resources into this and stop this menace ASAP, stop it. And for people in the diaspora, I would just know where to go. Because, or if you don't have the manual of Nigeria, try and get a manual. Don't just dive into Nigeria and think that, yes, I'm in my mother's land or I'm in my father's land, I can go anywhere. There are some places that are safe and there are some places that are not safe. Just try as much as possible. Get a good manual. It won't be nice to be a victim. To be a victim of these people. There is no excuse. Even some people die, like what Prof said. Even after paying ransom, some people even pay with their lives. So do not pay. Pay with your life. Be smart. If you don't have any reason to go to some places in Nigeria, I'm not saying I won't discourage anybody from going to Nigeria. It's a lovely place. Well, at least I know that we are going to get there. And if there's a need for you to go to Nigeria, know where to go. And if there's no need, don't go there at all. There's no rush. Please and please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning in. My special thanks to Mr. Mohammed, Raif, so much, MBE, my very good friend and brother. My sister also, thank you so much for tuning in. Special thank you also, to Susan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Special thanks also to Oscar. Thank you so much for tuning in. To Yeslin, thank you so much for tuning in. To Mr. Olawale, thank you so much for tuning in. Now you could catch us live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday at 8 p.m. And for the Grand Falani, every Saturday, you can tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Nigeria time, where we'll be having a conversation about security in Southwest Nigeria in bilingual language, both English and Yoruba. We have people watching all the way from Russia, New York, Canada, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So you could tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Nigeria. Until then, should I thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Have a lovely evening wherever you are. And if it's in the afternoon,